Hello everyone, welcome back to the Power BI projects tutorial course. This is the video in which we are going to see that how can we create visualizations out of the email marketing data set. In the previous videos we have already seen how to remove the inconsistencies from the data set and make it or transform it so that we can use it in the best way possible. So in this video we are going to see that how are we going to create the different kinds of visualizations, right? So the first thing that you must keep in mind is that whatever fields you have created, they all must be taken into account. Like you have to create visualizations in such a way that make use of all of these different fields. Okay, so we have to just work with all of these fields. Let's see how do we do that. So let's just go with one thing at a time. So first thing that we are going to go with is gender. Why we are going with it? Because it is the simplest way through which we can create a visualization. So if you want to create any visualization, first you want to go to this visualizations pane in Power BI and select the type of the visualization that you want to create. As far as this gender is concerned, so what we can create is basically a column chart or a bar chart, and on the basis of this we can analyze that what is the target gender or what is the gender of the people that is signing up for our letters the most, the newsletters. Okay, so let's just get a stacked bar chart. We can just click on that visualization which we want and that would be available for us to use. You can use the focus mode. This focus mode will bring up the visualization on the full screen so that you can understand it in a better way. Then you need to just work with these two values, that is axis and values, right? So let's just drag this gender into the axis field, and once we do that it will take up all the values of gender and align them one against the other. The second thing is the values. So what we need is that how many people of the particular gender have signed up for the newsletter, right? So for this information we need the number of people. So we have the data set that tells us that this is a male, this is a female, or this is the other gender. Then what we can do is we can find out the count of the males. That will give us the number of the males who have signed up. Count of females will give us the number of females who have signed up, right? So for this kind of a data, what we are going to do is drag the gender into the values and wait for a few seconds till it changes itself into count of gender. Now count of gender means how many times male has occurred, how many times female has occurred, and how many times other has occurred in our values, right? Now let's make a few changes into this visualization by going into this format tab. The first thing is the data labels. Let's just turn it to on so we can get the exact number of people. 6.8 thousand males, 2.9 thousand females, and a very few number of others have signed up, right? So if you want to know the exact numbers, you can just turn the zoom slider to on and just zoom it in a little bit. So we can see that okay, if 6,809 males have signed, then 2,906 females have signed up, and only 17 others have signed up for the letter. But for this type of a visualization like a bar chart, there is an overhead. Like you have to include the zoom slider and you have to keep increasing and decreasing its values because the distribution is uneven. So what we can do is go with a donut chart or a pie chart, so as to get the glimpse of how the numbers have been organized. Like most of the signing up has been taken up by males, then females, and then the others with a very small slice. If you want, you can just change the data colors as well. You can go to this data colors option and select the data colors as per your choice. Like for the others, I'm going with a data color blue, dark blue. For the female, I'm going with a lighter shade of blue, like this one, so as to get a distinction of these others from the females. And for the males, what can I do is just go with another shade, maybe this kind of a blue. Yeah, so we are getting a slight information from this. Now the other thing that we need to work upon is the title. Like if you go to the title, what we are getting in the title is count of gender by gender, or if we just go to this values, this is exactly what we get in the title, that is values by legend. So instead of count of gender, let's just double click over here and get it by people signed up. up. Okay, now here is the thing, once you have added the text, you can just press enter, so that would be applied over here. Here is the thing, that we change gender status to gender. So what benefit it did for us? The benefit it did was that we are now getting gender over here, so that in the title we are getting people signed up by gender in the information, right? So that is better for us to understand. You can just change its size as per your requirements, so that all the essential details are visible and none of it is hidden. So that is the first criteria that we have taken. Just like this, we are going to create a different number of visualizations, so that we can just work with them. The second visualization that we are going to talk about is by the activity, that is how many active users and how many inactive users are there. So let's again get a bar chart over here. Okay, this time we have the activity or the status actually. Let's just get it into the access part, get into the focus mode to understand it in a better way, and the count of status would be in the values, right? I hope you all have understood by now that what it means, that is how many active users and how many inactive users. So here is the thing, now this is a very good distinction, because we want to show that most of the users who have signed up for our email letter are active. That is kind of a beneficial data to be included in our report. That is why we are going with this kind of a chart, right? We are not going to convert it into a pie chart, we are just going with this bar chart for this. You want to change the data colors, you can just change it. Let me just get a darker shade of blue, but that's a personal choice. You can go with any color that you want. But one tip that I want to give you over here is that whatever color you choose, make sure that it is in contrast in all of the report. Like I'm going with a blue color, so I would be choosing the different shades of blue for my whole report. So you can just do the same for yourself as well to get a sense of uniformity in your report. Now we are getting these sizes as very small, but you can just change it as per your wish. Plus when you view the report in the whole full screen, then those would be sufficient to watch. The second thing is how we are going to change the values over here. So we can just double click and paste this people signed up by status, or the number of active users. You can just change its title, like if you want a custom title. So what you can do is just go to this title option and you can just say the active users status. So this is that 9.7k are active and only a few are inactive. Okay, next we have is by the marital status. So that also we can just cover it in the form of a chart, the bar chart. So let's just get this marital status into the access field and the count of the marital status into the values field. Go into the focus mode. The changes that we're going to do is change the data colors to a dark shade of blue, because that's my personal choice, and make sure that the data labels are turned on. So mostly we have the married people, and that is exactly what we want to target. Now we have these different options that are available to us, and yes, we can just go with it. Okay, so yeah, what we can do is we can just change this count of marital status to people signed up by marital status. And if you want, you can just change the size of the visualizations, but that is the customization part, which we can do anytime we want later on as well, once we have got all the visualizations on our plate. Next is the people signed up by the living status. So let's just get a donut chart again for this purpose. I hope I clicked it over here. Yeah. So now let's get into the focus mode. We have the living status, so get it into the legend and the count of the living status into the values, that is couple with children, couple without children, and a single or living alone. What I'm gonna do over here is just change the data colors. Two of them are already in shades of blue. The third, I'm just going to change it into a shade of a blue, so as to get the information about that, right? Yeah. So these are the three shades of blue that I have chosen. The only change that is left is about the detail labels. Okay, detail labels I'm getting. So what I can do is just change the title to people signed up by living status. That is a good title. I'm going to go with it only. What I'm going to do is just change its size a little bit like this, so as to get a hold of the legend. Like, this is taking a too much space. This legend on the side is taking too much of space, right? So what I can do is just change its position, go to this legend option, and instead of right center, let's just go with the top center. Okay, so now if I want, I can just decrease its size a little bit. Okay, like this. So it's looking good, and yeah, I can just go with it. Okay, next what we have remaining is the people who have signed up by state. So we have got different states in our data set, and we are going to take a look at how many people have signed up by state. So this visualization is going to be a little bit complex because we are going to add some filters as well. As there are a large number of states, we are not going to get each and every state into our visualization. That would be a too much crowdy visualization. So we will see that how can we work with the filters on the visualizations in the next video. That's all for this one. Thanks for watching.